can play some Subnautica. I know I quit earlier. I'm still counting this as the 50th episode. Am I the a-hole for firing my spoiled son after he stole from my company?
Opie's doctor does something super illegal. Am I the butthole for not giving my wife her daughter's address so she could see the newborn? Hear me out, please. I'm a 46-year-old father who lost my daughter, Molly, years ago to brain cancer. Molly's death broke me. She was my only
brain
child,
cancer is
so
a
I'm
bitch.
no longer who I was before this tragedy. I married my wife when my stepdaughter, Sarah, was 15. Sarah had issues with her mom. Her mom would kick her out over small arguments. She kicked her out for getting a haircut, for failing a class, and for other reasons. Every time, my wife would bring Sarah back home and tell her to learn her lesson or she'd be kicked out again. One time, her mom kicked her out over her diary at the age of 17, and Sarah had enough and just didn't return. She started working and I remained in contact.
Okay, people that kick people out about diaries are stupid. Simple rule. Don't read other people's diaries. Whether you like it or not, don't read people's shit. You know, you wouldn't want somebody to read your stuff and look through other people's personal business. Okay. Your boy's trying to think of how he's gonna roll with this. What was I doing? I should build bases. Okay, so I have a list of things I want to get done before the year ends. I doubt I'll get every one of them done, but I want to take a break from Terraria. I'm enjoying Terraria, by the way. I really want to play it, but I want to diverse and start getting other things done. I worked a little bit on my Minecraft world, and I'm gonna try to diverge and all that stuff. Sadly, season 6 of or season 5 of Ashen Year is gone.
Just couldn't let her struggle, so I tried to help her financially, but she refused. She's incredibly independent and a hardworking person. She reminded me of Molly. So I decided to help in other ways. I got her a job opportunity by calling someone I knew at the time. This way, she still had to work to earn her money, which is something she wanted. But she also got to work a better job that appreciated her more than the previous job. She's an artist. She wanted to be a graphic designer, so I sold my car to pay for her courses.
Aww.
She started paying me back bit by bit, but only because she also pays for other things. My wife didn't try to mend things. She disowned Sarah the day she got married, but I stood firm and told her that I'm free to talk to Sarah and she should respect that. I attend gatherings with Sarah from time to time, and she calls me dad in front of other people. In the past, she would just call me by my name. This sounds crazy, but I believe this all happened just so I could meet Sarah and have a chance of being the best father that I could be. Sarah is now 22 and just had a baby girl a few weeks ago.
Aww.
I visited several times and we talked. She told me that it was unfortunate that she lost her dad, but she was glad that she has me in her life. I cried, although I'm not good at expressing emotions, and it's gotten worse after Molly's death. My wife knew about the baby and demanded I give her the address so she could go see her granddaughter. I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell, and because she's already dealing with postpartum.
I mean, honestly, you know what?
Mom's behavior. My wife threw a fit and said, "This is."
Honestly, you know what? If they don't want to give the address, I mean, they don't want to give the address. It's their consent. They can do whatever they want. I respect that, even though, like, family-wise, it may not be the, most kindest decision, But if you don't want someone to see your kid, you don't want someone to see your kid. It's simple as day. You know what I mean?
Daughter and grandbaby, and I shouldn't try to stop her from seeing her. She called me selfish and cruel. The argument didn't stop. The family's agreeing with her and telling me that I need to stay out of it. I argued with my wife about it again, and she said I had no right and that I needed to give her the address. She didn't even seem regretful or wanted to apologize. Everyone is blaming me, telling me I'm being cruel, and demanding I give her the address.
I don't know.
Down in the comments, DSC takes the words right out of my mouth. OP, you wrote, I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell. This begins and ends there. You're honoring Sarah's wishes. You would be a huge butthole to do otherwise. As it stands, you are the opposite of a huge butthole. You're a wonderful father. Congratulations on the birth of your granddaughter. May she be a light in your life that reminds you of your Molly. Not the butthole. Yeah, OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving you
Honoring the
0
wish.
out of 5 buttholes. And I'm giving your wife 4 out of 5 buttholes. No offense, OP, but your wife sounds really toxic. Am I the butthole for my reaction when my 30-year-old fiancé exchanged his gift with my 16-year-old brother? I'm a 26-year-old woman, and I've been with my fiancé for 3 years. We both work and we both share rent and other expenses, but my fiancé is currently looking for a new job. He lost his old job 3 months ago. My family lives 30 minutes away, and although it's been difficult this year, I decided to get my brother the one thing that he's been wanting for some time. I got him an Xbox that cost me $300. He
Pretty
was so
pricey.
happy, and I'm glad I was able to cheer him up during these rough times. He has a chronic condition and struggled a lot lately, and was in the hospital for a few days for anemia. My fiancé received a few gifts from his family, but he wasn't happy with any of them. I got him cologne and he liked it. We were visiting my family and we had dinner with him. My fiancé looked at the Xbox I got for my brother and he didn't stop talking about it. My parents noticed, and I told him to stop complaining about what he did or didn't get this year. What he said made my parents uncomfortable, especially since they've been dealing with their brother's health issues and needed to relax. We got home, and my fiancé took something from the closet and left for about an hour. I was asleep when he came back. In the morning, I was surprised to find my brother at family's house and exchanged the gift that his aunt gave him, a $14 fancy pen, with my brother's Xbox.
Seriously? What
My brother was
happened?
happy to exchange gifts. I was so mad, and I told him this wasn't for him, and he basically took something that wasn't his. Not to mention a pen for an Xbox? That's ridiculous. He told me that maybe I shouldn't have spent $300 while trying to pay for rent. I told him as long as I can pay rent, that's not a problem. And that he needs to find a job if he thinks my money isn't enough.
Seriously?
Ghostbed, we're here to take the stress out of
If someone gave me an Xbox, I'd be excited. I mean, dude, if you don't like the Xbox, here's what you could do. You're not gonna believe what I'm about to say. You could sell it. I mean, you know what? I would probably keep the Xbox because I kind of want an Xbox. I'm not gonna like switch over to Xbox, but you know, to play Xbox games, I would like that. But I wouldn't really play a whole lot in the Xbox. You know what I mean?
Online quiz can help you find the right bed.
I called my mom, and I found out that they didn't actually exchange gifts. My fiancé pressured my brother into giving him his Xbox. I was livid and so mad. I told him to take the Xbox back to my brother, but he said it was between him and my brother, but I insisted. He refused, so I ended up taking it myself. My fiancé argued when I took it and said I was pressuring him and treating him poorly, and I have no respect for his feelings. I told him that he was wrong to make my brother give him his gift and causing him stress and ruining his joy. I apologized to my brother and my parents, and I felt awful because of how my fiancé behaved. My fiancé isn't talking to me, saying that I have no consideration for his feelings, and not understanding how he feels by not having money to buy himself the things he likes. I'm surprised because he's never done anything like this before. I get that he's struggling with finding a job, but that is not an excuse. OP, after your fiancé tried to trade in his pen for a better present, I think it's time to trade in your fiancé for a better man. If you didn't describe this guy as your fiancé and I had no idea how old he was, I would have assumed this guy was like 13 years old or something. How is this the behavior of an adult man? Like, what on earth? He's literally stealing toys from kids. Not just any kid either, sick kids. Please, OP, This is a red flag. Do not ignore it. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Your fiancé gets 3 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for firing my son? I'll get straight to the issue. I'm a 43-year-old man,
Okay.
and my 17-year-old son Adam has been trying to become independent and preparing to move to college, but was struggling to find a job. I own a private warehouse as a side job to earn a living. My wife suggested I hire my son to work at the warehouse, moving boxes, bringing workers lunch, cleaning things, that kind of stuff. She said it was for both of our benefits, since he couldn't find a job and we needed to hire someone new anyway. I agreed, and Adam was so happy and excited to start working. We agreed on the salary and work hours, so he still has time to study and practice. The first couple of weeks were going fine. That is, until one day. The workers were moving boxes of computers into the warehouse. The client wanted them stored for a few days, and we'd already arranged before they arrived. It was all written down, including the number of computers we stored. In the evening, while I was doing inventory, I noticed that one computer was missing. I gathered all my workers except for Adam, and they had no idea and thought there was a mistake. I brought it up at home with Adam, and he said that he saw one of the workers putting a box in the garage to take home with them. I was confused since he couldn't specify which worker it was. He eventually...
That is 100% red flag right there. They're like, if you say, oh, I saw a worker go in, which one? I don't know. No, that's fishy. That is a stupidly large red flag right there.
So, I went to talk to that worker. He denied it, and I ended up giving him a certain amount of time to bring back the box, and then I discussed why he did what he did. This worker is a single dad with 3 kids. I've known him for a while, and I wanted to give him a chance. The next day when I got back to the warehouse at 8 p.m., it occurred to me to check the cameras. What I saw was Adam putting a box in the back of his friend's car, and then the car left. I knew that friend, and I realized that Adam stole the computer. I went home and confronted him.
Dude, I'd be pissed. I already have a car. I don't know why...
I sided with him when he denied it, and after arguing for hours, I fired him and told him he was didn't call the police. This was my...
Honestly, you know what? Honestly, no, you're not the a-hole. Here's what happened. Let's say I go to my job right now, I go to my work, and I start stealing a bunch of cups and shit, I almost wouldn't complain to get fired. Because you know what? If I go there and steal shit all the time, I'd get fired and I'd deserve to be fired. No, 0 out of 5 buttholes for this guy. His son is being a dumbass and stealing stuff. He's cooking his soup.
Responsibility. The client entrusted me with his computers, and Adam stole on the job. Adam started crying, and my wife said I was wrong for firing him.
No.
It was too extreme.
He deserved it.
Docked his pay. She refused to drop it and tried to convince me.
No, your son stole.
I refused.
Guess what? I stole and I got punished. My mom made me go return the thing I stole, which was Gatorade, by the way, ironically. But no, he got caught stealing. Now he has to pay.
I apologized to my other worker, and I told him if there's anyone he knows who needs this job, I'll be more than happy to hire them. He brought his brother, and he started working with us right away. Now my family is calling me a butthole for hiring an outsider and not my son. To be clear, the computer was being kept at his friend's place. His friend is such a disrespectful douchebag, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who came up with the idea. However, it was Adam who took it, and so he needed to be fired. This is not okay, nor is it acceptable. Alright, OP, so when a teenager gets the job, the obvious reason is because that teenager wants a little bit of money. But one of the important things about a teenager getting a job is that they start to learn what it's like to actually go to work. It pisses them off. What's it like to receive a paycheck? How do taxes work? I mean, these are all just things that you have to learn in the course of becoming an adult. One very important lesson that everyone needs to learn is don't steal from your employer. It's ethically wrong, it's legally wrong, and it can literally put you in jail. What your son did was stupid and irresponsible, and he had to be punished for it. Your wife's approach of giving your son a slap on the wrist would have taught him that he can basically try to get away with stealing.
Stealing and
the
doing.
consequences aren't that bad. OP, you did precisely the right thing here, and if I were in your shoes, I would have done the exact same thing. You get 0 out of 5 buttholes, your son gets 3 out of 5 buttholes, and your wife gets 2 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for refusing to pay bills for a house that I house-sitted a month ago? I don't really think that I'm the butthole in this situation, but the family member, her boyfriend, and her mom sure do. Though the fact that the family member recently lost her job due to the pandemic does make me feel like I'm being the butthole. A little less than a month ago, I decided to house-sit for a family member and her boyfriend for a week while they were going to see their parents. I knew I wasn't getting paid for taking care of their home and feeding their pets, but I was okay with that because I live with my parents and a week away sounded like a dream come true. House sitting went fine and I pretty much forgotten about it until today. Then, the family member sent me a PayPal request with no explanation. She requested $184, and I immediately called her and asked her why she was doing this. She stated that it was my share of the bills for when she stayed. I was in shock. I told her I took a week off of work to care for her house free of charge. She said that I still had to pay utilities. Keep in mind, I was
That's
never once
bullcrap.
aware of this beforehand.
Honestly, that's kind of bogus right there. Who pays utilities on a house they babysit?
I told her to go F herself and hung up. And ever since, she's been messaging me saying she's gonna call the police and tell everyone on Facebook about what a horrible piece of garbage I am.
I mean, legally, he did not consent to rent and stuff like that, so I think he's in the clear,
But awesome.
in my opinion.
This hydrated holiday skincare kit comes with the Stay Hydrated serum, which is lightweight and works for all skin.
I haven't responded to any of these messages, and I don't plan to. Am I the butthole? Update. She ended up posting about me on Facebook, and the overwhelming majority of people on there defended me. Some of them called her stupid and reacted with a laugh emote. Safe to say she deleted the post and blocked me after that, and I haven't really heard anything since. According to my cousin, she's posting quotes about being betrayed and how family is worthless. OP, if she expects you to pay that bill, then you should slam her with a pet sitting bill. By just about anyone's math, she owes you several $100s. So, OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes, and I'm giving your ex-friend 3 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for filing a complaint against my doctor after she gave my mom my medical information? I want to start by saying that I'm a 25-year-old
Oh, this
woman,
one's gonna be an
and
interesting
I don't
one.
have the best relationship with my mom. I have an older sister, and growing up, my mom always tended to control me and tried to override any decisions I make, saying I was young and naive and she always knew better. I
Oh my
had contact
god.
with her for a few months after she tried to get involved in my marriage. My husband and I have been together for 3 years, and he's always telling me to be more gentle with my mom. I had a miscarriage a few days ago.
Aw.
It's devastating, and I really thought it'll get easier, but I'm still feeling excruciating pain and frustration. We were happy and excited, but all that disappeared suddenly, and it was hard for me to take because I thought everything was fine. I didn't tell anyone, especially since I'm currently dealing with some health issues. I didn't tell anyone in my family. My husband promised not to tell until I'm ready. My mom kept asking me questions and brought up my pregnancy constantly, and my answers were short because I didn't want her to know since she called everyone and let them know. She's always like this. That's why I tend to keep things private.
I don't blame her.
decided to not visit for a
She's
couple of days
nosy.
hoping she'd stop asking questions. Then I found out that my mom announced my miscarriage on her Facebook page.
Dude, I'd actually, nope, I'd be pissed.
So I was shocked and freaked out when I started getting.
That's like someone going out and saying that you have like a 2mm defeater, dude. That hurt.
Shaking. Everyone kept berating me for not telling them. I called my mom and I yelled at her. She defended herself, saying that she was just looking for support and that I should have told her about it the first time she asked if something was wrong.
I'm a supportive parent. Hey guys, my daughter had a miscarriage. Yeah, that's great. Like, just wow, very good human being right there. Dog shit.
I asked her who told her, and she said she had a talk with my doctor, but I shouldn't be mad because she's my mom and she had a right to know what's going on. I argued with her about getting involved in my personal life and disregarding my feelings and catching me off guard like that. I went to my doctor and I lashed out at her for releasing my private medical information to my mom and causing me to deal with everyone asking why I was hiding my miscarriage from them, even though I was just waiting for the right time. I told my doctor I was going to file a complaint against her the same day since she didn't respect my privacy and decided to give my mom information about my medical records. My mom heard about that and started berating me, saying it wasn't the doctor's fault and that she was a friend of hers she knew years ago, but I didn't know about that. She said that I went too far and acted like my family were strangers. She said that she's my mom and I didn't need to overreact like that. All I needed was time and space. Now I have to deal with all this stress and I'm a mess right now. My brother texted me a few minutes ago and said he wants to come over and talk to me. He was the first to call me and berated me and said that I was being hostile towards everyone for no reason. I haven't replied to his text yet, but I don't want to see anyone right now. I can't take one more word from them. OP, you don't have to stress whether or not you were in the right. Federal government definitely in the right. What your doctor did was a major HIPAA violation. You can and absolutely should file a complaint against your doctor. Because if your doctor violated your medical privacy, what's to stop her from violating someone else's medical privacy? You absolutely have a right to file a complaint, and the government takes this super seriously. Welcome aboard.
Yeah. That's a um. I need quartz. I really wish that there was some more quartz over here, you know what I mean? Alright, this is the border of the blood cup. Loser. Anyway, as I was saying, this is the border of the blood kelp biome, meaning that I can literally just go find quartz all throughout this little trench.
COVID-19. Some people get it, and some people can get it bad. And for those who do get it bad, it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, asthma.
Your mom.
Based on the condition of these pennies. So welcome back to Couch Collectibles. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Let's just hop right into it. Let's start off first here with a 1945 wheat cent. Alright, now the only reason that this goes on red pennies versus brown pennies, feel free to check that out on the channel. Now this coin here,
when you realize she's good.
Welcome to r/Am I the Butthole, where OP kicks a Karen out of her business.
So kicks a Karen. So this one's called "Am I the A-hole?" for kicking an entitled Karen out of my business. No, well, and if you know, it's called. For those that do not know, let's call companies have the legal right, if not wrong, the legal right to remove you from their establishment, whether you are in the wrong or if you are in the right. There's a few rocks on the side of the walls here.
My boyfriend's coworker that we're not married. I've been with my boyfriend for about 5 years. We live together. He doesn't want to get married, which I'm fine with now, but it was a point of contention early on in our relationship. My boyfriend was talking to a coworker on Zoom when I brought up some coffee. The coworker said something like, "So, this is the lovely wife I've heard so much about." I said something like, "Thanks, but we're not married." He said, "Oh, your boyfriend always calls you his wife." And then he introduced himself and I introduced myself. And then I ended the conversation and left as quickly as I could while still being polite because both the boyfriend and coworker were giving me a weird vibe. A little while later, my boyfriend came out of the office and asked, "What was that?" I didn't know what he meant, so I asked, "What was what?" My boyfriend then said that there was absolutely no need for me to correct the coworker and that it's better if people think that I'm his wife. I said, "I'm not your wife, I'm your girlfriend, and you never told me that you told other people that I'm your wife." This somehow becomes an argument, with my side being that my boyfriend never told me that his coworkers think that we're married, and my boyfriend's side being that I should have figured out that being called his wife indicated that the coworker thought that I was his wife, and I shouldn't have corrected him. And when I said that I thought that he just made an assumption, my boyfriend said that wasn't the point. The point was that there was no need to correct him, that it was rude, and that it makes him look like a dickhead. He then said the solution to this is that when he next has a video call with my coworker, he wants me to come in again, strike up a conversation, and say that I was messing with him, and that my boyfriend is actually my husband, and us not being married is an inside
If
joke
you're
that my
married,
coworker was in on. I then said that was the dumbest
it is the
effing
dumbest
plan that he'd ever come up with. And there's no effing way that I'm doing that. He said I was being a butthole, that I got him into this and that I have to bail him out. Am I the butthole? Down in the comments, I love gifs so Jif says exactly what I was thinking. Not the butthole. This is so shady. That includes calling you his wife. For anyone else who thought that something shady was going on, OP posted an update. We talked. My boyfriend is passionately hugging a female coworker.
Oh my god.
Apparently,
What a cheating piece of crap.
Sounds better than, "I can't leave my girlfriend for you." So now he's gonna have to tell people that we're divorced. Am I the butthole for discovering that she had an inoperable brain tumor around 5 months ago? And pretty much knew that there was no hope. My mother-in-law had been in hospice, and it was a good facility, but my wife still went into total zombie mode. So it's been 5 months of non-stop work and no affection or appreciation for it's to work. And worst of all, she went from showering every day to maybe twice a week. I made my wife a cake for her 45th birthday 3.5 months ago. I knew that my 45th birthday, which was yesterday, would be given no special attention because doctors had said, again, that my mother-in-law was nearing her end. And my wife does nothing but cry whenever she hears that. I called some of my family and friends who all live in Arizona, and they said that I deserved to have a good birthday. So I agreed to go back home for the week to celebrate and catch up. My wife got furious when she heard that I was leaving, and she started begging and crying that she would control her outward expression of depression and grief if I stayed. And she said that she felt that it was true this time, even though we've had like 4 false alarms regarding her mother before. In addition, her mother and I have never been close, and I know I don't land anywhere near close to the top of people she wants to see before she passes. My wife said she'll work to be less distant, and she doesn't care if we lose money if I'd already booked the plane ticket. I told my wife I didn't need her to pretend to act less distant, and I know she's grieving in a way that I've never grieved before, but that I was no help to her right now, and I was so fatigued that I needed a break. So I ended up flying down.
This winter, make the shortest days the fullest.
Get $1,000 purchase allowance on a 2023 Cadillac XT5 and XT6.
Look! It's easy to say things.
Look closer.
Anyone can do that. But at US Cellular...
Oh hell no, 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 no. I'm not going with Sawyer. I'm not going with Sawyer because they are predatory. They literally have they're owned by what's it called Comcast. Yeah, hell no on that part. Yee?
And on Tuesday night, I got a call from my daughter that my mother-in-law had passed. My daughter said she's staying at her best friend's house and she's perfectly fine. However, my wife texted me that I betrayed our wedding vows. I asked if I should still come back when I was expecting a lot of old family and friends for my birthday, and my return flight is on Sunday. My wife says I can do whatever I want, and if I'm still expecting my workout every day and dresses up every day wife back when I come home, I'll be disappointed. Am I the butthole for taking this trip because I need to do something for myself or else I go crazy? I'll be flying back on Sunday, but I know my wife will just bar me from helping with the funeral. Down in the comments, Shira Mom 4 says it best. You're the butthole. All you do is complain. It's exhausting to cook dinner for a child who is perfectly capable of cooking dinner for herself. You're upset that your wife isn't wearing makeup and nice clothes. This is exhausting for you? Too bad, it's not about you. I'm fairly certain that you've ended your marriage with your actions. Yeah, OP, I agree. Your wife is going through actual, genuine depression.
Yeah.
Your response is, well, not my problem. I'm gonna go have a party. See ya. Am I the butthole for being honest about how I was bullied and how the teachers at my school did nothing about it while being interviewed by a current student? I'm an author of mild success. I'm not incredibly popular, but my books sell enough. About 3 months ago, someone from my old high school reached out to see if a student could interview me. I responded that my time at that school wasn't the happiest, but I would get the student responses related to my career. We had a great chat. She started asking questions about my time at the school, but I redirected. She caught on to what I was doing and asked, I'm sensing that you're hesitant to talk about your time at our school.
I'm gonna ask you so I can be a little
said,
shit.
Let's focus on the story, and she was like,
Gold
actually,
table
this
pole.
could be a better story. So I said, you know what, sure, whatever. I don't owe the school anything. I'm not being paid, and even though it's been a long time and I've grown from what happened, it's still worth talking about. I mentioned a few names in specific and how I tried to ask for help and was blown off by everyone. Teachers at my school very strongly...
Okay, my school has pretty decent bullying things. They have pretty decent, like, ways to resolve it. I feel like my school didn't have a really good way to prevent it. Because here's the thing. I tried to complain that I was getting harassed because of me being on the spectrum. And I have spoken out to my friends and to teachers, and none of them, my friends listened, but none of my teachers listened to me. Nothing came from them. They did not help me. I even apologized to my bully, even though they were in the wrong. But guess what? Nobody ever did anything about that. I feel you, man. But here's the problem. You know what the funny thing is? They picked a fight with somebody who can remember how much torture, how much hell, and awful shit has been thrown their way. And now, I get to sit back, relax, watch all the bullies that harassed me in the past, as their lives are virtually crushed, disintegrated, and eradicated from existence. It's so funny. I enjoy it. I seriously enjoy it.
Girls in sports team and would often be buddy-buddy with them and their parents. I mentioned a teacher who openly mocked the way I dressed, my lack of athleticism, etc. I brought up the time that a group of girls followed me around the school, mooing at me. And when I broke down crying because they wouldn't stop and I tried to tell a teacher, the teacher called me Mooly for the rest of the year.
What a
And when I
douche.
yelled, my name is Molly, Molly, she had me suspended for a week. The student ended up publishing the whole interview. Nothing exactly went viral, but there were posts on Facebook with a ton of comments, and it caused some commotion in that community. A few weeks later, I was contacted by a school official who chastised me for bringing up old wounds and trying to paint veteran teachers as bad people, when they were going through difficult times already. The teacher responsible for the Mooley incident had a local Lifetime Teaching Award taken away from her after it all came
Yeah,
out.
let's go.
So, was it really worth it? And maybe I remembered things incorrectly.
No.
Finally, a handful of my old classmates found me, and I was barraged with a ton of messages telling me that I'm ruining the reputation of the school and several comments.
I like it when that's cute. As if they had any reputation.
Etc. Some of them obviously haven't changed.
Feeling healthy by leaps and bounds.
Dog.
Dinner that makes their whole day. And giving your best friend the best nutrients for their best life. Science did that.
Nuclear weapons, science did that.
The Black Panther has unified Wakanda. Show them who you are.
It was a long time ago, yes. I don't know how I really feel about how this all went down, though. I know times are tough for teachers right now. I didn't set out to hurt anyone. I was just telling my truth. Am I the butthole?
No.
So, it's okay for a school, the teachers, the students to systematically bully you, OP. But when you call them out on it, not even bully them, just point out their behavior, suddenly you're the butthole? No. No, 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 no. That school system is super toxic. I can't believe a school official actually contacted you to scold you, an adult. It's like, dude, you guys bullied me. And now you're still doing it like 20 years later? OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. Those people get 4 out of 5 buttholes.
That's funny, because you know what's funny about Karma? Kara is a massive bitch. My bullies that bullied me all through my childhood because of my imperfections, their lives are now falling apart. And some of them are getting arrested, and now they're all hated. Oh, it feels so good. I don't even have to do anything, and I can just sit back, kick my feet back of the campfire, and watch this shit show burn.
If they're upset that you're trying to paint veteran teachers as bad people, I would say, yeah, they are bad people. They do deserve to have their reputation damaged, and they do deserve to have their awards taken away. Is it too much to ask for to have teachers who don't abuse their own students? Am I the butthole for telling my daughter that she caused her own problems? My wife and I are both 48 with 2 daughters, Liz, who's 30, and Ash, who's 24. Liz used to date a young man named Pat. They were together for 5 years starting in college. In their 4th year together, Pat was accepted into medical school while Liz struggled. She worked as a dockside worker, and desperate for more income, Liz took up side jobs and took up a position in a local pizza shop to get management experience. From the outside looking in, Liz was working long hours while Pat was being crushed in school. They ended up getting engaged. However, Liz cheated on Pat and got pregnant. Their relationship ended, obviously. Ash went to the same school as Liz and graduated without any hiccups. She works in finance, and she seems to be very happy in life, and we couldn't be prouder of her. Last year, Ash approached myself and her mother about a guy we knew she'd met. It was Pat. To make a long story short, they've been dating for over a year now, and Ash seems to be very happy, while Pat still seems like a great guy. Liz has not taken this new development well and has brought up tons of issues with it. My wife and I both warned Ash that this was obviously going to be a huge problem. And Ash said that she was sorry for Liz, but she threw Pat away, so she didn't care how she felt about it. Liz's life has been difficult to say the least. She has 2 kids as a single parent, and her career has never really taken off. Her life isn't bad, however, I guess she had higher ambitions. Her life is certainly tougher than Ash's, and now that she's dating a doctor who she was once engaged to, she's on a downward spiral. Friday night, Liz came over and asked us to watch her kids, but my wife and I weren't up for it. One of them is special needs, and we just don't have the energy for it sometimes. She had a meltdown where she unloaded her emotions on us, and I told her that her problems are her own fault. She chose her degree, she chose her job, she chose to cheat, she chose to have kids and be a single mother. Those were all her choices, and I, for one, am sick of hearing about how bad her life is all the time. Am I the butthole? OP, while you're technically correct here, it's obvious that your daughter is going through some really dark times right now, and she really needs your support. I find your response to be a little bit cold and callous, so yeah, I think I have to give you something like, let's say 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Yes, I will acknowledge that your daughter cheated, but that doesn't make her like a 100% terrible person. As far as I'm concerned, justice has been served there. She cheated and he broke up with her, so that's like a done deal. I think actually the biggest butthole here is Ash. I have a younger brother, and I literally can't imagine a scenario where I would date one of his exes or he would date one of mine. That's just not something the family does to each other, so yeah, I think your sister kind of crossed the line there. I'm giving Ash 3 out of 5 buttholes. I even have to give Pat a butthole rating of 2 out of 5 buttholes. Dumping one sister and then dating the other is kind of a low blow.
That is
been cheated on.
just a douchey move.
For not changing my rules and terminating care? I have a home daycare. I like to think that I'm pretty lenient, but I do have one big rule. Don't make me the bad guy. I understand we might have different rules, but don't make your child resent me by not backing me up. Anyway, another rule is that I don't allow outside toys or electronics. Kids can bring stuffed animals for nap time, but I don't want to be responsible if something gets broken. Years ago, I used to let kids bring whatever. Then a cheap McDonald's toy broke by accident. The kid was upset and the mom got mad at me, so now it's a hard rule. Most families are okay with it. But I have a new 3-year-old kid whose mom wanted him to bring his tablet because he needs it. I said sorry, but no. I am not going to be responsible.
Yeah, I'd say, you know what? You're gonna sign this paper, and if your kid breaks his electronic, it is his fault. I mean, yeah, that would be scummy to sign. I would probably not sign that, but still, if I were you, I'd go to the parent and say, listen, parent, you're responsible if your kid's equipment is, you know, not damaged. So don't blame me if your stuff is broken.
We went back and forth, but finally she just says fine. However, every morning the kid is crying because his mom took his tablet from him in the car. The mom always gives me this look and says, Miss Lucy says no tablets. I always try to say that we have plenty of toys, but the kid spends the whole morning sulking. I've talked to the mom. I've asked her to leave it at home and not even put it in the car, but she said that he needs it. It's been a month. It's back. The kid came in crying, as usual. I tried my typical redirection, which didn't work. The mom was giving me a look of, see what you did? Then she had the nerve to say to him, I know you need your tablet. We've talked about this before, but Miss Lucy is strict. That pissed me off. I ended up telling her to take her kid home right then and there. She was shocked and started stammering. He was my first kid of the day, so there was no scene. I just handed back his backpack, said he was no longer a student of mine, and began to pack his extra stuff. The mom was in tears as she left. My husband thinks that she was right. I'm too strict, and I should have broken policy instead of causing drama. Am I the butthole? What on earth is your husband talking about, OP? You didn't start drama, she did.
She did, yeah.
It's your business. You have a right to run your...
Simple, as a tablet person, I can say, it's simple. They didn't want the tablet, then don't bring the tablet. Easy, it ends right there. It does, nothing starts. However, here's the thing, you're not gonna believe this, okay? I'm about to say the biggest word of advice you'll ever hear. If they say don't bring a tablet to the babysitter, get another babysitter. There you go. The reason I say things like I have rules for if people interact with me, the reason I actually say that is because I don't want them to get to my place and get mad that they broke a rule. It makes sense.
However you want to, with whichever clients you want to. If a client is giving you a hard time for any reason, you have a right to refuse service.
There you go.
You get a solid 0 out of 5 buttholes. The mom...
Bye, big.
Production offline.
It's a taste of fall, a day not to miss.
Welcome to r/am I the Butthole, where OP has a super racist roommate.
Oh, God.
My roommate's girlfriend that she's not woke if she's wrong. I'm a 25-year-old woman with a 28-year-old husband. We're ethnically Chinese from a Southeast Asian country living overseas. We rent a house with my husband's college friend who moved his girlfriend, Anna, in during lockdown, and she's been with us ever since. It's worth noting that we did this with the landlord's permission.
Hi, viewer.
To share the bills. Those two are not Asians, which matters here. Anna was initially nice, but started acting very weird a month after she moved in. First, she told my husband and I that we can practice our real religion, which apparently is Buddhism, not Christianity.
Okay. I want to say it's a hybrid of that. Dude, that would be so mad. Can you imagine if I went to your house and say, are you learning Judaism? When you're probably Christian. Dude, man, that's not a good way to introduce yourself. I'm watching a video, by the way, if you're wondering. Hi, aren't you supposed to be this, insert usually, you know, insert most common religion. Oh my god, you get my point.
My husband and I came from Christian families. She even bought incense which gives me migraines, and a random Buddha statue. We politely
That's
explained to her
kind
that
of
we're not
rude.
Buddhists, but she continued to insist and promised that she didn't mind. Second, she told my husband and I that we can speak our real language because she overheard my significant
Hey, you could. Hey, viewer, you could speak your real language. Don't be scared. I'm not trying to be a rude, racist person. You can. You don't. Oh my God, this Karen is. It's a Karen. She's a Karen. She's a loser Karen. Oh my God, this is cringe.
family talking to us in a mix of English and Cantonese. I explained to her that I can't speak Cantonese. My husband can, even though I can understand it. She was, for some reason, really disappointed in me and said that I was throwing my heritage away. Plot twist, my own father is only comfortable speaking English. Third, she bought raw internal organs for my husband and I to cook, even though we don't eat those. I told her we don't eat those things, and again, she was disappointed. She told us she read that there were lots of nice recipes, and maybe we haven't found the right one to remind us of home. My husband told her he's never eaten food like this in his entire life, and I've never liked it. She was really upset, but she had to throw the food away since no one was gonna eat it. Chinese New Year was when things got really weird. She started ordering decorations. I wouldn't mind, but she also ordered hell notes, the things you burn for deceased ancestors. I immediately
What the hell
told her
is
to
a hell
stop
note?
pasting them all over the walls because they were weirding me out. She ordered banners with my and my husband's name on it.
Oh, there's a
or some
reactor.
bastardization of our legal English names. But they were written on white banners that are traditionally used for deceased people. I told her
Okay.
to please take them down. She got upset, again, but then ordered kabuki masks. I told her those masks weren't Chinese, and she just snapped. She started yelling at me that I should be helping
Dude, I hate these type of people that, like, they think they know everything about religion. If I were at these guys' house and I didn't understand the religion they were, you know, they were worshipping, I actually would question it. You know? I like to go and research and question things. For example, if I find someone who's foreign, I don't go, oh, you're insert stereotype for foreign person here. I ask them, is this correct or no? Or what I do is that I ask them questions about their life, and I like to, you know, convo with them.
and not critiquing what
Stereotypes
she was
are
doing.
killers.
I told her, one, she never asked. Two, Chinese New Year's is not a big deal to me, so I wasn't planning on decorating, but if she had asked, I would have helped. Three, she never asked. I told her I don't understand her fixation with us.
Ready to start the reactor? But I've been taking a break off Terraria for a while. I don't know how long.
We've forgotten our roots, and that we should be embracing our culture. I told her it was a nice
They are.
gesture, but to surprise me and my husband that we've been so colonized that we've forgotten our roots, and that we
That's just straight up racist right there.
we should be embracing our culture. I told her it was a nice gesture, but she needs to stop forcing stereotypes down our throats. She could have just asked, and she's not being woke when she's getting everything wrong. She burst into tears and brought in her boyfriend. He understood where I was coming from, but thought that I could have been nicer. My husband stood by me, and now things have been tense. But I've been tolerating this for a while now, and it's getting on my nerves. OP, what did I just read? This lady isn't woke, she's just straight up racist.
She is racist.
She's racist and dumb.
Racist and stupid, yeah.
Assume that every Asian person is Buddhist. Just like you can't assume every white person is Christian.
Yeah. I can prove that. I don't choose to align with a particular religion. I like to, in my opinion, I like to use my time for other things. You know what I mean? I'm not an atheist, but I don't like to align with any religions. You know what I mean? And that is my choice. And I believe that it's, you know, like that. It's okay. Anyway, I can listen to this.
My wife is born and raised in China, and she's not Buddhist. I don't think anyone in her family is Buddhist either. And you can't say that she was colonized because she spent the first 20 years of her life growing up in China. Yeah, and I can't believe that she bought you Japanese kabuki masks when you're Chinese.
Japanese.
Coming up to a
Two different locations.
and being like, it's okay if you practice your African religion around me. I don't mind. Dude, I'm Christian. And you go, oh, trust me, I don't mind. Here, I bought you a Native American dream catcher to help you get in touch with your roots.
Dude, that's so
I
cringe.
can't decide. Is this more racist or stupid? I think I'd have to say like maybe 80% stupid, 20% racist. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Am I the butthole for taking my boys on a picnic after her sister lied about her child-free wedding? I'm a 32-year-old woman, and I married Paul, who's 39, 14 months ago. Paul gave me 2 steps.
By the way, if you're wondering maybe if you should have ever gotten this game, frick, it is a good game. In my opinion, if I had to rank it up, you know, that's a good question. I know you didn't ask, but seriously, here's a really good question. What are my top games? I think number 1 is Minecraft. Even though I don't play Minecraft a whole lot that much, and I didn't do that much this year, I want to say Minecraft is my favorite game because it is the longest continuous game I've played without abandoning it. Meaning that I have played Minecraft and I have still not chosen to officially abandon the game. Like, I'm still playing after over... Oh my god! No way! Guys! Come on, I'm gonna check the date. I think something important is gonna occur in a few days in December. Give me a few minutes. I'm trying to get the date that I joined Minecraft. I think it was the 14th of December of 2012, which means that on the 12th of December 2012, it will be my official 10 years of playing Minecraft. 10 years. My god. 10 years. All those years, man. It's
Who I adore so much. They're 7 and 11 years old. My family is fine with Paul, but they aren't involved with the kids that much, though they treat them well. They just don't show them affection or love. I've stopped attending family gatherings because I've been told to not bring the boys with me, which is unacceptable to me and very disrespectful. My family tried to look for excuses to justify their behavior of trying to leave my boys out of family functions. But last month they invited us all to dinner and it went fine. Paul was shocked, but happy that my family finally worked out the issue and slowly started including the boys. Last week was my sister's wedding and she sent me an invitation. She told me they were having a small celebration with no kids, a child-free type of celebration. Once my brother confirmed that he was coming with his wife and leaving his kids home, I thought that I could go since the no kids rule was for the entire family. That is, until my cousin called me the night before the wedding. Family and my stepkids, but she's been good to Paul and the boys. She started talking about the wedding, and she said that she'd be bringing her kids. I was confused. I asked about the no kids rule, and she said that everyone was allowed to bring kids. I checked with my brother's wife, and she said she was allowed to bring kids and had no idea why I asked. I confronted my sister. She lied so boys. And then it was my mom's idea, and they couldn't think of a better idea because they didn't want the boys there. I yelled at them both and said that I'm not coming if my boys aren't. On the day of the wedding, me, Paul, and my stepsons packed our bags and went on a picnic since the weather was nice and warm. The boys had a great time and Paul did as well. That evening, I got a ton of calls and nasty texts from Mom, my dad, and my brother for not coming to support my sister, and then I made a joke out of them. and that the guests were looking for me, and I let my sister down as her older sister. My sister was upset that I missed her wedding and called me awful for being inconsiderate of her feelings. To add, my boys are well behaved. Our oldest is incredibly responsible and helpful. Our youngest has already bonded with my cousin's son, who's 9. I talked to Paul, and he said it's up to me whether I still want to be in contact with my family, but he won't let the boys be treated like this anymore. I understand how he felt. I feel terrible too. I just couldn't imagine what Paul would have felt seeing others bring their kids except for us. Man, the hypocrisy coming out of these people.
I
in
hate
today's
hypocrisy
episode,
so
man,
much.
oh man. What your sister is saying, OP, is that you're expected to support her family, but she doesn't have to support your family. That is just complete and total BS. OP, I don't blame you. If I were in your shoes, I would not have gone to my sister's wedding either. Oh. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your sister and your mom 3.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for waking my girlfriend up with my morning routine? I'm a 21-year-old guy and my girlfriend is 30. Dated for over 2 years and lived together over 1. My girlfriend and I both work full-time. She's work from home right now and I work outside of the home. She works from 8 to 5 and I work from 5:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The past few months we've had morning arguments because she says my routine wakes her up. I get up significantly earlier than she does, about 3 hours before she wakes up, and she is not a morning person. Here's her issue. My dad works at the same place as me, so usually he'll text me in the morning to make sure I'm awake. He'll keep texting until I answer or eventually call. I keep my phone's volume all the way up so I can hear. Often, I don't answer the first time, and by the second text my girlfriend wakes up. Then there are my alarms. I hit the snooze button a lot because I set them early so that when I wake up, I know I have some time to sleep still. These usually wake her up too. It's just part of my routine. She's a very light sleeper and has trouble going to sleep when she's up. She gets so angry with me when this happens because she's always exhausted. She's in college too, so she's often up late doing homework despite having to get up and work the next day as well. We've tried a few solutions like her wearing headphones or an alarm clock that turns a light on, and it still doesn't help either of us. She thinks that I'm the butthole because I won't just get up when my alarm goes off or my dad texts me. She says that would solve all our issues and that I'm the butthole for not doing the simple solutions so she can get some sleep. I say she needs to learn to live with my routine. Am I the butthole here? OP, yes, definitely you are the butthole.
Yeah.
Why is this so hard? When your alarm goes off, get up. Why do you need multiple alarms and your daddy calling you to make sure you get up on time? You're acting like a kid. OP, I'm giving you 2 out of 5 buttholes. Your girlfriend gets 0 out of 5 buttholes. Grow up already. Am I the butthole for not being nice to the people trying to force me to sell my home? A large company is trying to buy up all the houses in my area to build a luxury resort with a...
Oh my god. These assholes, dude. They abuse you until you fork over your home. Yeah, these guys are dipshits.
Field, pool, and other things. A few days ago, I got a knock on my door and the lady at the door said she was offering to buy my home, willing to give me 5% over the market value. Their BS market value
Now,
is
let's say if I owned the house I live in, 200%. Take her or leave it.
I paid for it. I politely said, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not at all interested in selling my house. Have a good day. She kept trying to get me to sell the house and I told her to have a good day. 3 days later, she came back with a new offer. Now 7.5% over market value.
That's cute.
I said
Shut.
the same thing. Please go away. I'm not interested. The next day, someone else called. I just hung up on them. All of my neighbors have been getting the same thing. Some are deciding to sell, but most are refusing. Later, when I was outside, that same lady came over and said, hello, good news. We have a better offer for you. 12% over market value. That's great, isn't it?
No,
Surely
shut
we
your
can work
ass
something
up.
out. I then asked, do you have kids? A pet? She then responded, I have a son and 2 cats. Why? I said, how much for your son? I'll give you $15,000 for him and $2K for both of your cats. Confused, she said, those aren't for sale. So I responded back, okay, douchebag, neither is my house. I hope you understand now, and get the F my property and never come back.
Honestly, a little bit too hard, but honestly, stick it to them. These big ass corporations think they can push like middle class people around, and they think they can just bully them basically. Like honestly, might be immature. Hats off to sticking it to them, man. Let's go. Like this isn't like a car. No, this is a house. This is where you eat, you live, you sleep. This is the center of your literal life.
A pet? I hope you understand now, and get the F off my property and never come back. You're not welcome here or anywhere in this neighborhood. She said, listen, I tried being nice to you. Your house will be sold, and we'll try other legal means to get your house. I said,
Yeah.
Did you not understand what I just said? Get the F off my property, you ugly, disgusting B-word. And she left. I'm scared this company is going to try to use eminent domain to force me to sell my house. Down in the comments, some people are saying that OP is the butthole because he unnecessarily was rude to that woman, but I completely disagree. Everyone has a right to not be harassed in their own home. OP was being polite, but they decided to keep harassing them, so they had it coming.
The holidays are a lot, but after one of Duncan's handcrafted...
Will I be the butthole if I sued my boyfriend's elderly mother and press charges against her? Okay, I know how this sounds, but please hear me out at least. I've been with my boyfriend for 11 years since I was 15. His mother has hated me since the first day she met me. She hated me due to my ethnicity. I'm Kosovan Albanian.
Yeah, she's an asshole.
My career. I work as a model, and she decided that makes me an empty-headed, vain, shallow person. Then, when I told her I still planned to go to university alongside my career, she said that I was just doing it to impress my boyfriend. I've since graduated from university with a distinction, and her new reason to hate me is I try too hard. She also insisted that I cheated on him throughout our entire relationship, which is a ridiculous claim. I've never even kissed another man in my whole life. I have zero desire to cheat, and I never will. Late last year, she attempted to void the insurance on my boyfriend's motorbikes. She tried to do this under my name, so hypothetically, when he was arrested for riding with no insurance and called his insurance company, I'd get the blame.
I'm not.
After this
I
happened,
didn't dock my
boyfriend and I
prawn
agreed to
suit.
cut her out. However, it hasn't stopped.
Good thing I was
She
stopping
left my
right
boyfriend
here.
alone and respected his wishes for no contact, but she continued to contact and harass me. This leads us to the last few weeks. My boyfriend works as a motorcycle test rider, and he got in an awful motorbike crash while working. As such, I now need to care for him. I'm okay with that, and I'm focusing on seeing it as an opportunity for us to get closer. It's been nice, honestly. However, his mother has been awful to me. She's called me a litany of terms, like nasty Serbian half-breed. I'm not
Bruh.
Serbian, and she's well aware that calling a Kosovan a Serb is offensive. I tried to block her, so she started making new iMessage accounts and began continuing
What a
harassing me
complete
on those
wench.
accounts. Then came Friday night. The police turned up on our door. I was pretty confused, and I was told that they were there to do a welfare check because they'd received multiple claims of horrific abuse that I was apparently putting my boyfriend through. Obviously, they quickly discovered that he was fine, albeit grumpy, and they left. I know for a fact that this was his mother because some of the details the police mentioned made that obvious. I'm now at the point where I realize that I literally cannot do this. I'm going to press charges against her for the insurance and harassment crimes. These are crimes in the UK, and I'm likely going to sue her for damages. For the sake of my mental
Go
health,
ahead.
I need to do this. I don't want to be a victim, and she has to be forced to stop. I've mentioned my intentions to her, she doesn't back off, and she pretty much mocked me saying that I won't do anything, but I absolutely will. I just feel like, morally, this may make me an awful person. She sucks, I know this. However, she's old and miserable enough as it is, and I feel like doing this may ruin whatever small amount of life she has left. I feel like I may be going too far. I really don't know, though, and I genuinely cannot be objective here. Will I be the butthole here if I do this? So, OP, let me get this straight. Your boyfriend's mother tried to cancel his insurance when he works as a motorcycle test driver. A job that
What?
theoretically is super dangerous.
Dude.
Her boyfriend's mother has far past the point of being annoying. Now she's straight up dangerous. OP, I think you have a responsibility to both you and your boyfriend to put a stop to this however you can. If that means suing her into the ground, then sue her into the ground. Because based on the story, she deserves it. That was r/Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.
Am I the a-hole for trying to take my daughter's money?
At Panera, the feast begins
Depends.
before you open your
But there's a
mouth.
10 out of 10,
Your first bite
or
with a
like
second
9 out of 10
hand
chance it's
Panera
probably a
knife.
douchebag thing to do.
Hands, eat with your ears, because you don't just take.
Welcome to r/Am I the Butthole, where OP shuts down an entitled family. Am I the butthole for shouting at my ex in front of my daughters? I'm a 37-year-old male and I have 3 girls, 8, 10, and 12. Their mother walked out on us for another man when our youngest was around 4. My ex still stays in contact though and pays child support. A few weeks ago while doing laundry, I saw red spots on my oldest underwear. I asked her if she knew about it and she cried and told me she tried to call her mom, but my ex didn't call back. She'd been stuffing toilet paper in her underwear, hoping that would work. I explained to her that pissed me off, so I shouted back that maybe
Let's go, my sister.
insulting someone that they care about. Am I the butthole for asking my daughter to contribute to her siblings' college funds? I'm a 50-year-old woman and I have 3 children, a 30-year-old woman, a 17-year-old boy, and a 16-year-old girl. My oldest has a different father from the other 2 and was obviously barely grown once her siblings were born. I'll admit that during her teen years, my oldest took on a lot of babysitting duties in the house. I worked during the afternoons and evenings, so she would pick up the babies from the daycare and watch them until I got home at night. This, unfortunately, has led to my daughter and I having somewhat of a strained relationship as she's become an adult. She told me that I used her as a second parent, and it caused a lot of stress and stunted her social life during adolescence. I know that I made mistakes as a mother during that time. We were struggling financially, and she always seemed eager to help with the babies, but I shouldn't have taken advantage of her like that. We've discussed it a lot in the years since, and though we still have problems between us, I like to think our relationship has made progress. Since graduating college, my daughter has become a financial consultant with an excellent salary. I'm incredibly proud of her. What she's achieved, as someone who myself never attended college and who's lived near the poverty line my entire life, it's so rewarding to see my daughter move up in the world. As my younger 2 children have been approaching college, however, I've been beginning to question how I'm possibly going to pay to put them through school. In all likelihood, they'll have to take out heavy student loans. I'd like to avoid this if at all possible. We all know how damaging student debt can be to young people. I approached my oldest and asked her whether she might be willing to contribute somewhat to her siblings' tuition. I emphasized that she could absolutely say no, or we could discuss the possibility of us paying her back over a period of years. I said multiple times that I was only asking because I wanted to consider all options, but if she wasn't comfortable with it, I would drop it and look for alternatives. My daughter became very upset with me. She said that it was entirely inappropriate for me to ask, and that the only reason I would ever consider asking is because I've always considered her a second parent rather than a child. She said that my asking her for this has shown her that I've never learned from my parenting mistakes when she was a teenager. But I really don't think it's the same thing. Like, honestly, she's rich. She has the money. I don't think it's okay that I might
and
ask
she has
her
financial
to do me a
consent.
favor for the sake of her siblings, especially since I made it very clear I wouldn't be angry or upset if she said no.
What can you order by 5 p.m. and have your home tomorrow?
Prostitute.
Of the hundreds of appliances from top brands like
Thoughts? OP, yes, definitely. You are the butthole. When you said, like, honestly, she's rich. She's had the money.
Yeah, that's how he knows
basically
that she's
the
an
exact
ass.
same attitude you had when she was a teenager. Like, honestly, she's a teenager. She has the time. Personally, I feel that one of the most important roles of a parent is to make sure that all of their kids feel equally loved. And to be honest with you, OP, this is an area where you definitely definitely failed. So I'll give you 3 out of 5 buttholes because you definitely did learn from your previous mistake, and your daughter has every right to be upset. Am I the butthole for walling off my backyard because I dislike 2 kids and depriving everyone else as a result? I sure.
Not really. I mean, it's on your property. You can build a fence.
So help me out here. I live in a non-English speaking European country, and because of history, that means land borders between properties are sometimes very weird. Well, that's the case with my house and the neighbors. All of our houses are about the same size, yet out of all the land behind our houses, my area is huge. I own like 90% of all the land there, reaching all the way back to the woods far behind our houses. Meanwhile, each of my neighbors essentially has a tiny strip right behind their houses. Now, the part right behind my house is fenced off, yet the rest is pretty much open, and my wife and daughters like to use it for gardening. The field is used by most of the neighborhood boys to play soccer on, as it's the only flat piece of grassland around. They always ask for permission to use it beforehand, and I always allow it on the condition that I get no complaints if I tell them to leave and they don't litter. I also recently had a pool installed to the far back of my property and fenced it off. This is important later. Well, this is where the issue starts. Recently, a new family moved in, and they seem to think it's public land. I kept catching their kids running around through the flowers and vegetable garden, and they even moved their grill onto the field and held a picnic on my land. I keep telling them off and informing them that it's my land, but they just ignore me, and the kids sometimes won't leave when I tell them to. A month ago, the kids even climbed over the fence around the pool, and when I got them out and went to their parents, they just said, "Oh, we figured it was a public pool." I had hoped that would be the end.
Dude, is that...
People built a fire pit in the 3 days that I was away from the house. And when I got back, I found it with a bunch of empty beer cans around. That was the last straw for me, and I hired a company owned by a buddy of mine from when I used to do construction work.
I assume that it's a public pool when it's in the middle of a town. It's got tons and tons of people there.
My entire property was walled off, and whenever anyone asked, I told them why I was doing that and who they could thank for it. Well, now the new family is treated as if they're a pest, and all the neighborhood kids are gutted that they lost their football field, which has resulted on them picking on the new neighbor's kids. I honestly feel pretty terrible, but I also feel like I gave them plenty of warnings before taking drastic actions. Nope, OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. They were being disrespectful and trespassing, and when you set clear boundaries, they violated those. So I'd say your actions are 100% justified. Your property, your rules. Am I the butthole for telling the social worker the real reason my sister wants a foster kid? I'm a 28-year-old female, and I have a 36-year-old sister. For the sake of the story, I'll just call her Jane. Jane is married to Bob, and they have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. My niece...
This November, DraftKings is teaming up with the Pat Tillman Foundation to help raise money for vets and their families. Playing the Pat Tillman Foundation free.
Niece and nephews are wonderful kids, and no trouble at all. They fight as siblings do, but nothing big. I love them. Now, for about 2 years, I did live with my sister. It was a miserable time that really affected our relationship. She saw me as free labor, money, and babysitting. Even when I managed to get a small part-time job, she demanded I hand over nearly half of my pay or get out. It was torture, as she took complete advantage of me. I moved out as soon as I could, and we had little contact outside of family gatherings. Now, after I moved out, she started complaining how she has no help with the kids and never gets a break. I babysit sometimes, but I've made it clear, just because I'm off work, that doesn't mean I want an 8-hour day with my niece and nephew. Anyway, she started talking about how she wanted to foster a kid. Not a kid, but a teenager. I pressed her for more info on this. She wants to adopt a teenager so she has a live-in babysitter for her kids. This is her logic. I want a kid around 16 or 17. You know, someone who may have been in the system for a while. They can share a room with your nephew or sleep in the garage. They can help me with housework, chores, cook, and help me with my business. She bakes and sells cookies. Also, babysit the kids so me and Bob can go out sometimes or have some...
So basically you want to buy a slave.
So grateful for a home and won't complain. I won't have to pay them at all. And when they turn 18...
That's literal slavery.
A teenager will be so much easier than a little kid. They'll be grateful just to have a roof, food, and siblings if they've been separated from their real ones, and clothes. I was horrified. I told her it was a horrible idea, but she didn't listen to me. She went on with it anyway. About a month ago, a social worker showed up at my apartment to ask me some questions about my sister. She had put me down as a character witness or something like that. I immediately told the social worker why my sister really wanted to foster a kid and how she treated me when I lived with her. The lady thanked me. My sister called crying, saying that she wouldn't be considered for any adoptions or fosters. The social worker told her that they felt her home and her weren't a good fit. They asked if I said anything, and I told the truth. She went off on me, hung up, and we haven't spoken since. She sent me some angry texts. A couple family members are on her side. They think foster kids are effing dogs or something, and would be happy to just have a roof and would gladly do all that.
That's literally slavery.
So, am I the butthole here? So, you're asking if you're... You're asking if you're the butthole for putting a stop to the exploitation of free child labor? No, OP, you are not the butthole. Your sister, on the other hand, gets a full 5 out of 5.
I agree.
Points. She's treating abandoned children like essentially slave labor. Am I the butthole for telling this college guy's mom that her coming into his interview cost him the job? I'm a hiring manager at a tech company, and I was hiring for summer internships a little while ago. We had a guy, about 19 years old, applying for a summer internship between his freshman and sophomore years of college. It was a virtual interview over Zoom because of COVID. A minute or two in, when I was introducing myself, his mom came in and introduced herself and started talking about her son's work ethic. I thought it was a little strange.
Yeah.
Warning, emergency power only. Warning, emergency power only. Oxygen offline. 30 seconds. Oxygen.
How's the power dead on this place? Are there any thermal vents around the area?
Said something polite about wanting to hear from him. She didn't get the hint and kept coming into camera frame during the interview and interrupting her son to answer questions for him. I asked a few technical questions, which he seemed to answer well, and then cut the interview fairly short. I thought that was all over and done with until I got an email from a woman a month later asking about her son's application. She seemed offended he hadn't gotten an acceptance or rejection. It bothered me. I felt bad for this kid, honestly. Way back when I was a teenager, my mom used to pull the same stunts. But luckily, she only did that when I was 15 and working for a day camp. Not when I was an adult applying for engineering jobs. But I felt like this poor kid was getting his chances ruined because his mom wasn't giving him the chance to apply on his own. I sent an email back saying I wasn't at liberty to send information about an application to anybody but the applicant. I also asked HR to send an email to the kid saying sorry, but we were not making him an offer. It's something we usually do, but his rejection email must have slipped through the cracks with all the COVID craziness. Anyway, after we sent that, I got a phone call from his mom. She had a forwarded copy of the email and she was demanding answers. I said that I couldn't comment on the guy's performance in the interview to her as she was not the applicant. If he wanted to reach out to me, I was happy to give him some feedback. However, I could say that regardless of his performance, her presence in the interview took him out of consideration for the position. We were looking for an independent and self-driven person for the position, and for that reason, it's important to see the applicants speak for themselves, follow up themselves, etc. I also said that as a piece of advice. Every hiring manager I've met in my career who sees someone other than the applicant answering questions during an interview, following up on the applicant's behalf, etc., would also put their resume on the do not hire pile. Since while the applicant may be skilled and motivated, they need the ability to demonstrate those traits themselves. She effing blew up at me over that, kinda cussing me out to the point where I hung up.
That's actually a very good tip. I'd actually thank him because I did not know that. I mean, I'd kind of make like sense of it, you know, cause common sense. But like seriously, I didn't know that if someone's there and they are answering your questions, that you're not gonna get hired. That's a very good thing. I'm gonna keep that on my head as long as I can. Very good info.
For how I handled this, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut way earlier. God no, OP, you are not the butthole. And This has nothing to do with the mom's behavior. In my opinion, any hiring manager who actually bothers to communicate with applicants is automatically not the butthole. I would gladly hear a rejection email with something like, "We didn't hire you because we don't like your face." I mean, sure, that would hurt my feelings, but that's still 10 times better than spending hours filling out online forms only to have the company
Let's take a break.
never bother